Features of planning. The first feature of planning is goal oriented. Planning focuses on achieving objectives. This is what we know, that why we have made planning. Planning has been done to achieve the goals. That we have goals in our organization and we want to achieve these goals. That is why we are doing planning. We have the goal in our mind that I want to increase my sales by 10% or by 15%. That is why I'm doing planning for that. That I will be selling my product in this particular market. This will increase my sales. So planning focuses on achieving objectives as specific goals are set out in the plans along with activities undertaken to achieve them. Planning has no meaning unless it contributes to the achievement of predetermined organizational goals. There will be no meaning of planning if we don't have any goals in our mind. Like we have a goal in our mind that I will be becoming a CA or I will be doing a hotel management course. So, this is the goal in my mind, and according to that goal, I'm doing planning for that. So, for planning, there is a goal. A beautiful picture has also been given. Goal, and this person is standing there, and a ladder is there, and that person will climb towards its goal. Very beautiful picture. Now, going to the next slide, the next feature. The next feature is primacy of planning. What do we mean by primacy of planning? Planning is the first function of management. So, primacy of planning is there. That planning comes before all other functions. There are five functions in management, and planning is the first function. First, we need to plan, then we can organize the resources, then we will be hiring the staff in staffing, then we will be giving the directions in directing function, and then we will be controlling. So planning is the first function. Unless and until we have make plans, the other functions cannot work. We will not be organizing resources unless and until we don't know about plans. So planning is the primary function of management, first function of management. It provides the basis for all other functions of management. All other managerial functions are performed within the framework of the plans drawn. Thus, planning precedes other functions. It comes before all other functions. This is referred to as primacy of planning. It is the first function of management. जब तक हम कुछ भी प्लान नहीं करेंगे तब तक हम ऑर्गेनाइज भी नहीं कर सकते हैं, स्टाफिंग भी नहीं कर सकते हैं, डायरेक्टिंग भी नहीं कर सकते हैं. So, planning is the first function of management. That is why we are calling it primacy of planning. Then the third feature is pervasiveness. Pervasiveness, we all of us know the meaning of pervasive. Pervasive means present everywhere. A very beautiful picture in the slide is given. It's a photo of the universe. So planning is everywhere. Planning is available at all departments in the organization, and it is present at all levels of management and in all types of organization. So planning is present everywhere. Even if it is a school, there we are making plans. You get your diary. In the diary, you get all the schedule that this time it will be your half yearly examinations. This will be this is the time period in which your annual examinations will be there. And in calendar also planning is done. So what we do is that planning is present everywhere at all the levels of management, whether it is top level management, middle level management, or lower level management. Planning is present everywhere. So what we will be writing in the notes is that planning is required at all levels of management as well as in all the departments of the organization. It is not an exclusive function of top management. We cannot say that only top management is doing it. All the levels are doing it. Top level management is making plans for the entire organization. Then the middle level manager is making plans for its own department. Marketing department head is making plans for the marketing department, and then the lower level management supervisor is making plans how to get the work done from the workers. Planning is what managers at all levels do. Top management plans for the whole organization, middle level management prepares departmental plans, At the lowest level, supervisors formulate day-to-day operational plans. So planning is pervasive. It is present everywhere at all the levels of management and in all departments of the organization. Then coming to continuous process. Planning is not a process which is a one-time activity that we have made plans. Now our work is over. Now we will be sitting quietly. No, planning is a continuous process. We keep on doing planning, that we have made the plans, we have achieved the goals. Now we are comparing the actual performance with our planned performance, and if any deviations are there, then again we are making plans for correcting those deviations. So planning is a continuous process. We have done planning, we have made the plans, and then we implement the plans. We have implemented it, result is not coming to us, our favorable result. Then we are evaluating it. We are finding why the result is not coming, why there have been deviations. For example, suppose I have made a plan that the defective items must not be more than 1%. And I have told the workers that this way you will be doing the work and defective items should not be more than 1%. If 100 items you are producing, then only one item can be defective, not more than one item. But then when I evaluate, I find out that there are 5 items which are defective out of 100. So I'm taking a review, I'm analyzing the deviations, and then again I'm making the policy. Again I'm doing planning that how to reduce the defects. So it is a continuous process. What you will be writing in the notes is plans are prepared for a specific time period, example for a month or a quarter or a year. At the end of that period, new plans have to be prepared on the basis of new requirements and future conditions. After the review, we make the new plans for the future. Hence, planning is a continuous process. Once a plan is framed, it is implemented, and then it is followed by another plan, and so on. So it is an ongoing activity. It is a continuous process. It is not just a one-time activity. Then coming to futuristic, what a beautiful picture is there that this boy is looking into the future. Planning is futuristic means that it is a mental exercise. We are sitting and we are deciding for what? We are deciding for the future. We are making assumptions about the future, and then we are deciding about the future. In the meaning only what we told you, planning is deciding in advance. So we are deciding in advance. When we are deciding in advance, that means we are deciding for the future. So planning is futuristic in nature. Planning involves looking ahead and preparing for the future. The purpose of planning is to meet future events effectively and efficiently. Like when we plan our career, what we are doing, we are looking into the future that after 5 years I want to become this. So this is futuristic. What in the notes you will be writing is planning involves looking ahead and preparing for the future. Planning is regarded as a forward looking function based on forecasting. We have made forecast about the future. We have made assumptions about the future. We have estimated the future. Through forecasting, future events and conditions are anticipated and plans are drawn accordingly. For example, on the basis of sales forecasting, a business prepares its annual plan for production and sales. That I have estimated the sales, that this much customers will be coming to me, 10,000 units will be sold. According to me, this is an assumption which I have made. So if 10,000 units will be sold, I am giving order to the production department in advance that you keep ready 10,000 items. This much of demand will be coming to us. So planning is futuristic in nature. Then the sixth feature is involves decision making. Planning, meaning of planning is deciding in advance. So what we are doing, we are making decisions. And how we are making decision? Alternatives are available to us. Out of those alternatives, we are choosing the best option which is best for us. See in this slide, there are many suppliers. Suppliers are coming to this person, and this person to the business house. The business has chosen the best supplier according to the business requirements. So planning involves decision making. We make the decisions out of the alternatives available to us. In the notes, what you can write is planning involves decision making as it involves choosing the best alternative. Choosing the best alternative. From among the various alternative courses of action, it involves examination and evaluation of each alternative and choosing the most appropriate one. Examination and evaluation of each alternative is done, and then we choose the appropriate one for us. Then there is mental exercise. What we do by mental exercise? In planning we are deciding all the things which we are doing in planning. We are not bringing that, we are not doing any action, we are just thinking that this way I will be doing it. So planning is a mental exercise that it requires application of mind and sound judgment. It is an intellectual activity of thinking rather than doing work, because planning determines the action to be taken. Because in management, what we are doing, we are planning. In planning, we are just thinking and making the plans. In organizing, we are organizing the resources to carry out the plans. In staffing, we are hiring the people to do that work. In directing, they are doing the work. From the fourth function, the work starts. In directing, the actual work starts. In directing, we give them directions, we give them instructions, and then they start doing the work. And in controlling, we measure their performance and compare their performance. So till staffing, we are doing only the mental exercise, especially in planning, right? So planning is a mental exercise. So all these features of planning, we are just revising. It is a goal-oriented activity. We have a goal in our mind, and according to that, we are making the plans. Then primacy of planning. Planning is the first function of management. It is the basis for all other functions of management. Third is pervasiveness. Planning is present everywhere, at all the levels, and in all the departments. Then planning is a continuous process. It is an ongoing activity. We make the plans for a month, for a quarter, and then after that we revise the plans. We make the plans for the future again, depending on situations. Then planning is futuristic. Planning is looking ahead. Planning is making assumptions about the future and then making plans. For example, we are assuming that the sales department will require 10,000 units. So we are giving order to the production department to make 10,000 units ready for the future. Then involves decision making. We are evaluating the alternatives available to us, and then we are choosing the best alternative according to our business organization. Then mental exercise or mental process. This is the seventh point. In the slide, it's written as sixth. Mental process is that planning is a thinking activity. In planning, we are thinking and making plans for the future. Right? So all the features are clear to you. Now coming to limitations of planning. We have discussed the features, we have discussed importance, and now coming to limitations. There are some limitations of planning also. The first limitation is rigidity or inflexibility. What we mean by rigidity and inflexibility? Inflexible, that we have made the plans. For example, we have already given you the date sheet and something happened and we want to change the plan. Can we? It is very difficult to change the plans, because once we have made the plans, we have taken meetings after meetings in the organization, and something has been decided by devoting so much of time and so much of energy and so much of money, then it is very difficult to change those plans. So it leads to rigidity and inflexibility. So according to because we are making assumptions about the future, we cannot predict the future with 100% accuracy. And if now some change is coming, so it becomes very difficult for us to make it flexible. But still we keep, because we are the students of business studies and we already know that this is the limitation of planning. So we keep some gap over there, some scope for the changes. So in the notes you will be writing, a plan is drawn with specific goals to be achieved with a specific time period. Once a well-defined plan is drawn, managers may not be able to change it. They do not have flexibility to be able to cope with the changed circumstances. However, following a predetermined plan when circumstances have changed may not be in organization's interest. Right? Now coming to may not work in dynamic environment, limited scope. We have made plans and technology has changed, situations have changed in the business environment, taste and preferences of the customers are changing. In that case, what we will be doing? For example, this pandemic has come. Now most of the companies has made their plans to launch their phones, to launch their movies, to launch a lot of things are there, but those plans could not work in this environment because lockdown was there. So planning may not work in dynamic environment. The business environment is dynamic, business environment is ever changing. The organization has to constantly adapt itself to changes in business environment. It becomes difficult to foresee accurately future trends in the environment if economic policies are modified, changes in the taxes are there, bank rate is changing, political conditions in the country are changing, they are not stable. For example, Kaveri explained in the slide that when CAA came, then there was a lot of riots and public started pelting stones on and there were many things like that. So there was political instability. There was not peace in the organization, not political instability. So it was very difficult to handle that situation. In fact, in the East Delhi, though already the date sheet was fixed and the English paper was cancelled only because of this riots, right? And natural calamities such as flood or earthquake occurs. Strategies of competitors change. They are introducing new models and new designs. For example, sometimes a movie is coming, and on the same date, another movie is coming, which is a kind of a threat to that movie. So that person changes the date of the release of that movie, so we don't know about competitors and fashions and tastes of the customers change. This is a limitation of planning that we have done planning in advance and the environment is changing, so it may not work in the dynamic environment. Then no creativity. You must have seen that when we were doing the advantages, in the advantages it was mentioned that what was the advantage given is that planning promotes innovative ideas. Now they are giving planning reduces creativity because everything has two aspects sometimes. At the time of planning, we have time and we can make innovative ideas, we can introduce new ideas. But at the same time, planning reduces creativity. For example, the planned thing is coming to me like last year what happened is that in the planner also I wrote that in accounts we will be doing volume 1 and after that we will be doing volume 3 and after that we will be doing volume 2 at the end. This is the plan that I made and this is what I generally do every year. So what happened was why I made such a plan, because in your practical examinations questions are asked from volume 3. That is why I made that plan. But when I started with volume 3, many of the students came to me and told me that, ma'am, in our tuition, we have started with volume 2. And we are facing problem that in school we are studying volume 3 of accounts and in institutions we are studying volume 2 of accounts. So it is a double-minded kind of thing happening for us. And in tuition also tests are going on and here in school also exams are coming. So please change this plan. You please start with volume 2. But I have already made the planner, I have already given the planner in the school, I have already made the question paper. So it was very difficult for me to change the plan. So it was like no creativity was there. I cannot modify the plan according to the situation, right? So no creativity is there. Planning is done by top management. Middle and lower management are neither allowed to deviate from plans nor are they permitted to act on their own. Because we are not permitted to change our plans according to situations. It was very easy for me to start the second book, but because I have already given my plans to ma'am, Anupma ma'am, I have already given her the planner and all those things. Now I cannot go to her and tell her that I want to change the plans. She will say that all the planners have been compiled, all the syllabus has been compiled and it has been uploaded on the website. Now you cannot change the plan. So there was no creativity. They only carry out orders. Much of the initiative or creativity inherent in them gets lost or reduced. Right? Now, coming to the fourth limitation, huge cost and time. Yes. A lot of time is involved in making the plans and cost related to that. For example, in business, we are conducting meetings to make the plans. So, venue also we will be deciding, a lot of people will be coming. All this takes a lot of cost and time. Planning involves a lot of cost and time. For example, checking accuracy of facts may involve a lot of time. Costs are incurred on boardroom meetings, discussion with professional experts, and preliminary investigations to find out the viability of the plan. Sometimes costs incurred may not justify the benefits derived from the plans. कभी कभी हम इतना एक्सपेंसेस कर देते हैं इंफॉर्मेशन गैदर करने में और मीटिंग्स करने में कि उससे जितना एक्चुअल बेनिफिट होने वाला होता है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को या प्रॉफिट होने वाला होता है उससे ज़्यादा हम कॉस्ट इनकर कर चुके होते हैं प्लानिंग में स्पेशली इन द केस ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स समटाइम्स दे आर डूइंग सो मच ऑफ प्लानिंग ऐसे पढ़ाई करेंगे इस टाइम पे ये पढ़ाई करेंगे कि सिर्फ प्लानिंग ही करते रह जाते हैं और एक्चुअल में पढ़ाई नहीं करते दिस हैपन समटाइम्स तो वो क्या हुआ प्लानिंग में अपनी एनर्जी सारी वेस्ट कर दी और रिजल्ट कुछ भी नहीं आया उसका clear about it. So we need to do planning wisely. It is a very wise quote is coming into our mind that sometimes people think जब सारी लाइट्स जो हैं अगर ग्रीन होंगी रोड पे तभी हम अपने घर से निकलेंगे अगर हम ऐसा सोचते रहेंगे तो हम कभी भी नहीं निकल पाएंगे अपने घर से so we cannot expect 100% perfection in everything. Now, coming to the fifth point, planning does not guarantee success. So what a picture they have given that false sense of security. We feel that we have made plans for the future, our future is secure, but planning does not guarantee success because we cannot predict future with 100% accuracy. We don't know about the future. Future is uncertain. कल क्या होने वाला हमें नहीं पता. So we cannot say that planning if we have done planning, so it means that we will be succeeding 100%. The success of an enterprise is possible only when plans are properly drawn and implemented. Planning is meaningless unless it is translated into action. Managers have a tendency to rely on previously tried and tested successful plans, but it is all not always true that a plan which has worked before will work effectively again. Right? Now coming to lack of accurate information. Sometimes we don't get much of information. There is lack of accurate information available to us. We want to gather data, but collecting data and analyzing the data, sometimes it is not always correct. That many a times when I am using this app, Arogya Setu app, so what I'm doing is I try to keep judging that how many cases of corona are there around me in this much of distance. Those who don't know about this app, let me make you clear. Arogya Setu app is an app which you download from the Play Store and then you get to know a lot of information. Like when I switch on this app, I get to know that within 500 meters, how many people are corona positive. COVID-19 positive. So I am just relying on that information, but that information is accurate only to that extent in the which the people have downloaded that app, in the aspect in which people are using that app. If someone has not downloaded that app and he is positive with corona, then I will not be getting information related to him. So there is lack of accurate information in the environment, right? Then influence of external factors. Influence of external factors means that we have done planning, but in the last chapter only we have studied about the business and dimensions of business environment, that there are many factors affecting the business. Those factors are economic factors, interest rate may change, taxes may change, so it affects the business, it affects our planning. Demonetization came, GST came, so we have done planning earlier and then these policies came, so it affected our business. Then social factors, technological factors, legal factors, political factors, all these factors affect the business. Business is not running in isolation, and we have done the planning in advance, so we don't know how these factors are going to influence us. So it is a limitation of planning. So revising all the points of limitations. First is rigidity. Plans are rigid and inflexible in nature. We have made the plans and we don't know, and we are not able to change it according to the situations. Then limited scope is there, reduces creativity. We cannot change the plans. Whatever order has come to us by the top management, we are following that. We cannot induce our creativity into it. Cost and time, a lot of time is involved in making the plans, a lot of cost is involved in making the plans. Then false sense of security, we feel that we have made the plans and it will work in the future, but it is not 100% sure that the plan which has worked earlier, whether it will be working now or not, we don't know about it. Then lack of information which is available to us may not be correct, or we have limited information, we have half information, we don't know about it. Then influence of external factors. Many are factors like economic factors and social environment, technological environment, legal environment. All this environment is affecting our business. So we cannot say that our plans will be working in such a changing environment. Clear?